Very good. Let's start today with tonal materials. Yes. In music. What are tonal materials, first of all? Yeah. Yeah. Tonal materials, the notes. That's it. The notes we use. Yeah. It's a raw material. If we don't have notes, I mean, it sounds a little basic, but it's important. Tonal materials, yeah. Okay, so let me see. Let me see 1 second. Okay. As always, we have this little problem. Start streaming. Okay. No, but it logs out automatically, and then I have no clue why. Okay, now we can start. And then Jasmine is here. Amazing. Good. And then okay, now we can start. Okay, so I was saying that we're going to start with tonal materials, which is the elements that we have in music, yes, to produce music, yeah. Although we can argue about noises, yes, noise and sound, yeah. But for now, we're going to deal just with sounds, yes. Okay, so we said a little bit about that we will live in the era of sound, yes, and all the classical music was a result of the notation era, yes. All the music that we inherited, yeah, Western tonal music or modal or atonal or dronal, yeah, but all that music is thanks to notation, yeah. So we have to know exactly from where did it come from, yes, where was the origin of notation. Just a little bit disclaimer, I'm not going to go in really detail of the evolution of the notation. I'm going to go like leaps and bounds like this, because if not, we will have 10 lessons about that. Yeah, so no. Yeah, because it was a long, long process, yeah? So, in order to start, let's see. There you go. Give me 1 little second, because I have to... Okay, share the screen. Hello, Jasmine. Share the screen. We're going to see a little bit of historical context today. Right. And now we are having this. Fantastic. Very good. Historical context. Monophonic music of the 9th and 10th centuries and principles of notation. That is exactly when music notation started. Yeah? Before it was the era of the memory. Remember that. Before... Yeah, the 9th century was the era of the memory. Music was not notated. From there until the beginning of the 20th century, 1930s more or less, is the era of notation. After that, it's the era of sound. Yeah? So, well, Panayotis, monophonic. Remind us, please.
Mono and phony. Mono means one, phony means sound. So one sound, one voice.
One voice. Very good. Thank you very much. Monos also is I have a question. Is it means also alone?
Yes, it does. Monos.
Monos.
If I am monos or the female moni,
sí,
that means alone, but it also means one.
Right. Okay. No, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We're going to keep having Greek teachers to explain all these things. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
It's two in one, music and Greek.
Exactly. Now we have a bundle with you.
Yes.
Now, very extremely briefly, the cultural and historical context in Europe. Yes, in more of the art. First of all, the art was linked with religion. Yes, all that we see here is depictions of Christian, Catholic, yes, religion. Yes, it was very, very linked to that. Yes, and within that, yes, the main characteristics of the paintings, yes, lack of naturalism and expressiveness. Yeah. And there was usually no, I mean, there was no interest in the background as well. Yes, this is something that it will have sense, let's say, because the background and the foreground, yes, and the monophonic music is connected, yes, believe it or not. Because monophonic music, as Panayotis very well said, is one voice, yes. They couldn't have the concept, they couldn't handle layers, let's say, yes. Remember that all art is linked, yes, it's an expression of ideas, yes. It can take the form of music, form of painting, form of dance, architecture, whatever, yeah. But it's very interesting to see that monophonic music and this type of paintings, yes, has a certain connection, yeah, because polyphony started during the Renaissance when you have the sense of depth, yes, as well. So many layers, yeah. If you see Renaissance art, you're going to get a completely different thing, yeah. So this art was one thing, one layer, yes. I mean, if you clearly see that the background and the there's no background foreground, everything's on the same, on the same layer, yes. So that has a connection, yes. As well, this is extremely short, yes, an extreme reductionism of what the art was, yes, in the 9th and 10th century, yeah. But the only thing that I wanted to see is the connection, yes, between music, and it was not very I mean, the naturalism of the expressiveness, the human expression was not very important because human was not very important in itself, yes. What mattered, yes, is the depiction of the religious figures, yes, or characters, yes. Humanism still is not yet there, yes. It started in Renaissance period, yeah. And you're going to see that in Renaissance, yes, the interest in humans, yes, and to depict the human as and the expression is because it was human-centered. Here, no. Yes, all the music was for religious purposes, so it was to praise God, yes, God of the Catholic Christian Church back in the day, yeah. Okay, so as we saw briefly, yes, the Gregorian chant is by default, yes, the beginnings of the Western music, yeah. Do you remember this, or it was more or less clear? Yes?
Yeah.
So we started with Coptics, and then who?
Remember, it went up from
yes, it went from, you know what, let's see it again. Let's see it again, yes. So, as we said, the begins was in the Carolingian Empire, 880, yeah? And the Gregorian chant is the first, yes, that, well, it was it started under the Pope Gregory, yes, and that's why it's called the Gregorian chant, yeah. That use what we call today monophony, which is one sound, yes, just one sound, maybe in octaves, yes, because maybe children would sing, but one sound. But even this Gregorian chant has its origin, yes, and the origin is in the East, yes, through the Constantinople, and then the Coptics, and then the Jewish and Orthodox Greeks, yes, and then we'll see. Then from the East went to the West, and then it went from here to there, yes, finishing in Spain. Okay, but let's see this. Maybe it will ring a bell. Sorry for the Spanish. He says that for not for Joaquin, I know, but for the rest, that the Gregorian chant has its beginnings in the Jewish synagogues. Yeah. Because the first rites were adopted by the first Christians. Yeah.
Gisela, we cannot hear very well, I think.
No?
Myself, I cannot. But
Sasmia, she's saying like no.
Me neither.
Oh. That's really bad. Okay, you know what? We're going to just see it. I'm going to send you this. Yes, I'm going to listen to it. Yes. So basically, we're going to to see the origin. Yes, and then later on, I can see. I will send you the video, and you can watch it. Yeah. So basically, when the from here, yes, the Christians moved to the Mediterranean. Yeah. Those rites, let's say, yes, and that music naturally expanded as well. Yes. And then you see later on, let's say, yes, in Antioquia. I don't know Antioquia, how do you say? Antioch in English. Antioch, I think is. Yeah. Then you have the Byzantine, yes, in Constantinople. Then Alexandria is Alexandria. The old Alexandria. Well, clearly, I can't remember the name in English. Alexandria, we say. How do you say it in Greek? Panayotis?
Which one?
The city that Alexandros, the Great.
Alexandria.
Alexandria. Okay, let's. I think we're going. We can. Be okay with saying Alexandria, which is the true pronunciation. Okay.
Is this the same place where the library got born?
The what? The what? Sorry?
The library.
The library. Yes, exactly. The library.
Yes.
Exactly. With 2 million, apparently, how do you say this? I forgot. Scribes? No. Papyrus? No.
Manuscripts?
Yes, scripts?
Yeah, like
Papiro.
Yeah,
papyrus. Yeah.
Papyrus. Were burned along with a lot of knowledge. I mean, a couple of were saved, but most of them were burned. Then you arrived to Athens, or to, Greek, actually, Greece, and then that was mixed with, Greek Orthodox music, yes. Then after that, yes, you have, when you came to Rome, started to be sung in Latin, yeah. This is the Pope St. Gregory. There you go. Gregory, sorry, not St. Gregory. Yeah. And then from here, because we know that this is during the Roman Empire, that is what produced the Greek expansion. Yeah, from Italy, you have the Gallican, which is the Spain, Gallia. Yeah. Gallia in France. Yes, and then the Hispanic. Yes. So it was basically going everywhere. Yeah. Toledo, well, in Africa, in near Carthage, yeah, Coptics, yes. So basically, you have, the here in Jerusalem, and then all that, yes. And that's finally you see the trip, let's say, yes, the travels, yes, of this music, yeah. But then listen to this, yes. Apart this, it's really nice to see how, the Gregorian chant, what it took, yes. The only thing I'm going to say about this is until you went to Rome, the Gregorian chant was like the proto, let's say, Gregorian chant, was using what for example, in Greek Orthodox is very common, Coptic is very common, which is quarter tones. Yes, the tones and the semitones, yes, are used only. It started to be used in Rome. That they started to simplify, yes, but before they were used, yes. All the music in the world used quarter tones, yes, actually. Okay. Yeah. Now, the neumes, yes, are these squiggly little things, yes. They started to be, used. Not even they were not notes, yes. They were just the direction of the melody, more or less, just a mnemonics, or just trying to help people to memorize the chants, yeah, the hymns, yes, in Latin. So those called neumes, yes, pneumatic notation, yeah. But it didn't say anything about the notes. The specific note in which you would start, yes. So it was just a little help, yes, of how the direction of the melody went, yeah. Now, then, thanks to Guido d'Arezzo, yes, a tetragram started to be used, yes. And I say tetragram because there are 4 lines, not 5, not the pentagram, yes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is our old, new. When I say new, let's say new.
Branding new.
Brand new. Just 1,000 years. Just brand new yesterday. But let's say that this is the middle C or middle Do, and you have the C clefs, yes, in which you have, basically this is the old C clef, in which today actually the C clef is quite similar, to be honest. Yes. Anyone's familiarized with the C clef?
Mm-hmm.
No? The alto clef, the tenor clef, the soprano clef, the mezzo soprano clef. That's the C clef, yes? And the C clef, let's say that this would be, let's say, the alto clef, this would be the tenor clef, yeah? And this is all the middle C, yeah? And then you have the F clef, yes? The F clef, you see that very distantly, very distant, yes? You have kind of the shape, kind of, very distant. The only thing that survive are the dots, I think. But well, fine, the evolution of the I read once the evolution of the clefs, yes, until, for example, they got to the treble clef. Poof, it got, yeah, like 10 different shapes until you get to the treble clef. Yeah. But this was the first system, and then the Pope Gregory, yes, has a lot to do, because the reason why this appeared is out of necessity, like all the time. Yes, it's not because they wanted. I mean, nobody, yes, gets this, the notation out of, fun. It's because the Catholic Church was growing as it took over several countries, yes, almost all Europe. And then, well, this Pope saw is that because it was all by memory, yes, the hymns that were sung in the Vatican or in Italy, let's say the Vatican, were not the same as the hymns that they were sung in Spain, for example. Yes, the same words, because that was written. But imagine that, I mean, you cannot copy exactly the hymn. Imagine that through the years, yes, this was, and you change a little bit of the notes, and then it finishes, I mean, ends up to be another completely different hymn, yeah? So he said, okay, we need notation, yes? So he spread the word, we need notation. And there was a monk called Guido d'Arezzo that lived in the north of Italy, yes, in Tuscany, that came up with this brilliant, because we never changed this. We have never changed this ever again, even today. Yes, the only thing that we added is an extra line. He started with the tetragram and the notes. So now you could have the specific pitch. Yes, big deal. So from here, you're going to see in this video that you have the old neumes, and now how is let's say the real thing. Yes, and then we're going to see how is, we're not going to see all the symbols, but a little bit of, yeah. I'm trying to, wait, sorry, yeah? But I'm trying to get this in big, basically, for you to see, and I cannot do that. I don't know why. Okay. Let me see. I have the new share. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, there you go. Okay, up to there. Now, clearly, On the left, we have the old news, and then this is the actual notation. Yes, musical notation. Now, which is the parameter that you see that is lacking?
In the music?
Yeah, in this notation to the right.
The intervals.
Sorry?
The interval.
No.
There are not very long intervals. It's like
No,
5 is
the parameter that is lacking, the information that is lacking here. The intervals are there, actually.
The information, the notes.
Hmm?
The notes.
The notes are there. This is called a punctum.
The clef.
The time signature.
The time signature didn't exist.
Clef.
The clef is here.
Mm-hmm.
The clef is here. You see that you have the
Clef.
I can read it actually, because if this is the middle C,
G.
this is a G. G, G, D, 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 C. So you see that you have C, 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 D, A, D. And it's what she's singing.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the parameter that this is lacking?
Right, locking.
Mm-hmm. We have something that this is not showing. Showing the notes, the intervals, exactly the note.
Mm-hmm. The text.
The text is here.
Mm-hmm.
But text is no music. Text is another thing. The rhythm.
Of course.
It's a rhythm. How can we know the rhythm here? Yeah? You can have an idea of the separation. You see that visually this is more separated than this one.
The dot.
Yeah, I mean, actually the dot is a very, very old, yes, symbol, yes. This, after a comma, you have a line in which you breathe, yeah. You have, I mean, certain things that they were, now we're going to see, yes. The single dot, it was called punctum. This one is a punctum, which is the syllable, yes, and it's the most simple one. That's why the term punctum contra punctum. Dot against dot. Yes, that is the term counterpoint means. Counterpoint comes from punctum contra punctum. Punctum is this. Contra against punctum. So dot or point against point. Yeah, comes from here.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the clef. This is a C clef. This is a C. This is a G. Da, da, da. And if you that was a melody, so you could read it, the intervals, but you cannot figure out exactly the rhythm. You have the rhythm parameter. That took much longer, yes, to be discovered. But if you see the one on the left, yes, I call the old neumes, which were not very clear, yes. This, at least, I have no clue about the music, but I can more or less follow it on the piano. Yes. This, you have no clue because you don't have the exact interval and also the exact note in which you start, on which you start. Yeah. So it was quite an improvement. Yes, with the tetragram. Yeah. Couple of things. Yes, I mean, you have a lot of symbols here. Yeah, but I'm not getting to that. Yes, because we have no time. Yes. Okay. So let me go to the new share. Okay, fine. So this was the, there you go. Now you have several yes, neumes, yes. It's called de virga, de punctus, yes. De podatus, de clivis, de torculus, de porrectus, de climacus, de scandicus, de salicus, de pesu punctus, and de pesus, and you're not going to study this. Yes, I'm just showing you, yes, that if you want, yes, you can perfectly find this, yes. And then we're going to listen to two very famous, or actually the first one is very famous. We call Pangelingua, yeah. Also is a hymn, yeah. And then you try to see, yeah, from the left to the right, yes, which one do you recognize?
So the Corpus Christi, aren't they still singing it in like the church or no?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like very famous.
There is a book that has like 1,000 years old, more or less, yes, or at least 800. It's called the Liber Usualis, which is the usual book. Liber, libro, usualis, usual, yeah. So that is it's like a collection of I don't know how many, but a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, of.
I had to do a lot at school when I was studying sacred music, and the liber usually is all the liturgy that you have to do, all the things that you have to think, they are in the book.
Oh yes,
like
then,
in the calendar.
And then you see, he still does it. You see, I mean that book never changed. It stays traditionally, yeah. There are a lot of things that they are how do you say it? Well, they are also, and I repeat myself again, yeah. I'm in leaps and bounds, okay? From what I showed you, the first one, to this one, yes. This is kind of 13th century, yes. The first one was the 11th century, yeah. I mean, there's a whole, yes. How to say? There's a lot, yes, of things that happened, yes, until they got into this, yes. So, but yeah, I mean, what you have to, I mean, what I would like you to learn is that all of this has an origin. The origin is here, yeah. It took several hundreds of years, just saying, to get, yes, into what we have, the system that we have, yeah. And if you see this, you have a clue, yes, a certain clue of what you're talking about, yes, as musicians, as teachers. You have, for example, the bar line, yes. You have a slight breath, and it will match a comma in the text, naturally. The text was the main, yes, the base, yes, of the music. The semi-bar in the middle of the two lines indicates a prolonged breath, but not enough to interrupt, yes, the broad rhythm. The whole bar, which is approximately equivalent of a pause of one beat, and the double bar usually found at the end of the piece, yes. And what is interesting that the double bar, yes, is it can indicate the alternation between chorus and soloist, as happened before. You know, they have a soloist singing, and then, you know, the chorus. And even today, we have the double bar, yes, that we're going to see. That means something for us as musicians. It's like another section, yes. So let's listen to the Pangelingua, which is a mode that I really like, freaking. And they will see.
Angelingua gloriosi corporis mysterium sanguinisque preciosi.
Now, I I'm going to do it again.
lingua
There. First of all, hymn 3, mode 3, Phrygian. First is Ionian, yes. Dorian, Phrygian, yeah. Then you have, sorry about the tininess. Yes, I know it's really tiny, but if you have the C clef, yes, or the C clef here, yes, which is the middle C. Which is this note?
C.
Huh?
C.
No. No. It's unavailable. Okay. If this is Do or C, A, F, E. Yes? You see?
4 lines.
Well, you have to get used to it. You have C, A, F, E. Pange lingua gloriosi corporis where am I? Corporis mysterium. Yeah? But it has sense. I mean, I can read it. Yes, and naturally you can, again, yes, we don't have the rhythm component, but you can read it. I know it's a little bit confusing to see 4 lines, but if you just say, okay, this is C, fine, C, A, F, E. Pange lingua, yeah, glo, sol, chi, glory, o, A, o, si, corporis, C, D, C. Yeah? Its assistance is pretty, yes, pretty neat. And then try to see if you find any of this. For example, this that you see here is a clevis for you. And this is, I mean, what you see here on the right is kind of the modern translation. Yeah.
gloriosi corporis mysterium sanguinisque preciosi quem in mundi pretium fructus ventris generosi rex effuit gentium.
Double bar line. There you go.
Nobis Datus,
The chorus.
nobis natus es in data virgine, et in mundo conversatus pasto verbis eline.
Dum dum dee dum, dum dum. Cadence. Dum dum. Bar. Yes, we have the bar, the little bar, the bar line, the double bar. Yeah. Even today survived. Yes, when you see the chorus before, you have the double bar line. Yeah. This one, another example. Well, this is called the Phrygian mode. Yeah. I love the mode. And this is from a composer that also is a little more, I mean, it's further, it's more modern, let's say, yes, than this. And again, when I say modern, yeah, take it as it is.
Creatrix
Okay, from there. Just for fun. And when I say fun, Laus Trinitati Hildegard von Bingen. Okay. I know that the audio quality is not the best. Sorry about that. But, okay. What's the first note?
C.
C. Exactly. Exactly. This is a C. So you have
Sorry.
Do, C, yeah, C, B, yeah. And this note?
C.
Look, remember that you have, even today, yes, a
E.
fifth is exactly, is from space to space, line to line. Da-da. Yeah? Do we have? You see? Da-di-da-da-da. Yeah? Mi, si, la, sol, la, si, ti, F, E. Yes, so sorry. T, F, E. Da, da, E, B, A, G, A, B. And then this is up from C, which is D, D, C, B, A, B, B. This is, well, if you see this, the reason why I said this is this piece is after, yes, the first one, is because even the symbols get a little bit more, I mean, they're more evolved. You have more melismatic music, yes. Melismatic is a music in which is more ornamented, to say, yes, to in one, let's say in one syllable, yeah, you can have many notes, okay? And then if you see the notation, let's say, yes, it's a little bit more evolved, let's say, yeah? But still the tetragram, okay? And at the end, you see that you have double bar, yeah? And even from there, you still you start to having the letter lines, the beautiful letter lines we know and love. You see? So from that moment, yeah. Okay, so let's carry on. So the first neumes, yes. Again, the only one that you really have to know is the punctus, okay? Because that is the one, yes, that is the most simple one, and that is related to the name counterpoint. Maybe the virga, because virga, as you can see, resembles which note? Which rhythm?
The crochet.
Exactly. Yes. So come from there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, no. No. And then, not finally, but the name of the note, because before they didn't have any names. Yes. Guido d'Arezzo, again, yes, helped with his syllabic solmization, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, 6 notes, yes, an hexachord. So the name of the notes, but anyone knows the name of the notes? Maybe you already know it. No? But from where do they come? Well, actually, yeah, from there. From a hymn. Yes. So they had to, well, again, yes, the notes didn't have a name. Yes, you could start on one note and then from there you see the intervals, but they didn't have a name. So he came with a very neat system. And then he took a hymn that by chance started every phrase. If you had ut queant laxis resonabri fibris, mirages tuorum famuli tuorum sol ve polluti labi. So everyone, I mean, each phrase, you see that we see that each phrase because you have a comma, yes, a comma, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. So each phrase started by chance, actually. In one note, there was one note up. Yeah, or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, in which we know now today that is C, D, E, F, G, A. The ut is still used in some cities in France, actually. The ut note. Yes, it was changed after because it was very hard to pronounce. Yes, for do. Yeah. And it was a hymn, yes. The translation is so that your servants may with loosened voices resound the wonders of your deeds, clean the guilt from our stained lips, O Saint John. Actually, the Saint Johannes was the last note C, yes, or B today, yes, is S-E, Saint Johannes, C. Yeah, that is where the note C or B comes from, yeah. So he built, now it gets a little bit complicated, so buckle up, yeah. So far, so good. Yes, you have the hymn. Yeah, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, sorry. La. Okay. Lovely Dorian, actually. So he built a system of 7 hexachords, so 6 notes, yeah, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, or the modern C, D, E, F, G, A, that overlap our G, C, and F notes, yeah? How is that? This is the system that he created, yeah? It begins with sol 2 here, yeah? Identify with the Greek letter gamma. Lovely gamma there. Yeah. G or G as well. So also called gamut. Yes. G. And it reaches mi 5 here. Sol to mi. Why sol to mi? Because it was the range of they could sing. If you think about it, yes. Remember that the choirs were all sung by male, yes, and children. Okay, so from this one to this one, yeah, you can more or less have, yes, male voices plus, children's voices, yeah. This is a range that comprises the entire repertoire of the Gregorian chant. Yeah, Roman letters starts A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the first octave in capitals. Then A, B, then we're going to see this, B, C, D, E, F, G, the second octave. And the third octave, A, B, C, D, E, D, E, with double lower cases. That is when the system separates and splits. The one that is the English one, let's say, and then the one that is used by well, most of the people. Yes. Then, so far, I mean, these are like absolute values, let's say, absolute letters. G is always G, A and B and C and D and E and F and G and A and B and C and D and D. That's actually the simplest one. This is not simple, the one, the other one, yeah? So the hexachords, yes, you have the one that was called natural, they started on the C, the ut, that matches, let's say, the real, notes, which is C is ut, and C, do. Re is D, yes. Mi is E, yes. Fa, fa. Sol, sol, or G. La, A. So this was called the natural one. And it was all about where the semitone was, yes. The semitone has to be from the third to the fourth. Yes, from the Mi to the Fa, from E to F. Okay? That was a natural one. Then you have the one called the durum, which is started on G. So started on G, and then this is something that is called the solmization, the solfege, in which you start on another note on G, but you at the same time you say ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. But the notes are not going to be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. They're going to be G, A, B, C, D, E. You will be seeing notes that they're not. Now the durum, why was called the durum? Because between remember, the semitone was between the third and the fourth, which is matches here, B and C, semitone, yeah. And the durum was this, referred to this note, yes. Durum or hard, yes. But when we go to the F here, the third one, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, okay? We need a change, because remember that the semitone was from the third to the fourth note, mi to fa, okay? And that we don't have a semitone. We need to soften this note, the C or B. That's called the mol, yes? To soften the notes B or C in order to get the semitone right. Has any sense this, or yes? Okay. Yeah, the system comes from here. This is the difference between one, because the solmization, then you have the movable do, yes, that is very known. Is when you have the scale, and then it doesn't matter where you use do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, but you can use it on every scale. You can do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Yeah? That the system comes from here. And the separation between two systems comes from here as well. Yes? So the English took the literal meaning. This is G, always. This is A, always. Yes? More practical people. Yes? D, I don't care about all the ut, re, mi, just leave me alone. G, A, B, C, D, those are the notes. And that is where it comes from, yes? This one was used to transpose, actually. Yes? Because they knew that, imagine that the monks, yes, used to write the music, but not the choir, the people who sang in the choir. They had to memorize these hexachords, the structure of the hexachords. That structure, yes? And then to memorize ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, yes? Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. They could replicate another note by transposing. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Yes, imagine that you were an alto or a soprano or a bass or a baritone. Yes, you would start on another. Yes, you have to start on the ut. You memorize those intervals, but you were singing another range. Yes, that's why it was created. And the last thing is that we come to the Guidonian hand. If you see in the playlist, yes, the hand that I put in Counterpoint is the Guidonian hand. Yes, the famous one. Yeah. This is a modern version. Yes, the one that I put in the playlist is the one that is the old one. Yes, with all the clefs and everything. So it starts with the gamma, la or re, B or mi, goes to the C or fa, then you restart, ut, yes, then sol and re, so the D was sol and re, the E was la or mi, the fa was fa or ut, going on. And then why is this the hand? Because he would sing and tell, let's say, they will, he would point where he was in the music, yes, visually, says, re, mi, fa, sol, la, yeah, he would do this, yes, and then the choristers, yes, would know in which scale he was. When I say scale, is hexachord, sorry, yeah, my bad. Also the word gamme, yes, in French, called scale, yeah, it comes from there, gamma, yeah, because it was the beginning, yeah. And so from that system you have, if you go, yes, ut, yes, you have C, D or sol, re, I, la, mi, fa or ut, the new one, starting on F, yes, sol, re, and ut. On the, I mean, it's a long, I know it's a complicated, but at least you know exactly more or less how it works. Yes, this is not something that now you're not going to understand. This was the beginning. Yes, it was a way to memorize. Yes, for the people to memorize. Yes, the scales that they were singing. Yeah, more or less clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the beginning. Okay, now I am not going to just saying. I am not going to go to the menstrual notation with you because it's very complicated. Yes, I mean there's no reason. The only thing maybe I will mention one day is that the different prolatio, yes, the prolation, you have the symbol, yes, the 4/4, yes, comes from there, yeah. But that's it, yes. So next week we're going to have our first species of